idiotic intelligence. In the early days of psychology, the word idiot wasn't an insult. It was actually a category for people with very low measured intelligence. Back then, an idiot was someone who could not live independently and needed constant care. Today, we no longer use this word in science because it's outdated and offensive. But historically, it meant someone whose ability to reason, read, or understand was extremely limited. Think of a time when humans use very basic survival skills only, like finding food or shelter, with almost no problem-solving ability beyond that. Imbecile intelligence. Another old classification was the word imbecile. Again, this was not originally an insult, but a medical label. It referred to people with slightly higher abilities than those classified as idiots, but still considered very limited. They might be able to speak simple sentences, recognize people, or do small daily tasks, but they struggled with complex ideas. For example, they could follow very simple instructions, like carrying water or sweeping a floor, but anything abstract, like math or writing, would be too much. This term, too, is no longer used, but it shows how intelligence was once described in strict categories. Moron intelligence. Next comes moron, another term from early 20th century psychology. It described people with below average reasoning, but who could often live on their own and even work simple jobs. For example, someone might be able to cook, clean, or do farm work, but still struggle with reading, writing, or managing money. Today, of course, the word moron is used as an insult, but originally it was a technical term to separate levels of mental ability. Below average intelligence. Now we move into categories that are still discussed in modern terms. Below average intelligence means someone who scores lower than most people on problem solving or reasoning tests. But this doesn't mean they can't succeed. A person with below average intelligence might struggle in school, have trouble with abstract subjects like algebra, or find it hard to plan ahead. But in everyday life, they might shine in hands-on jobs like building, farming, or cooking, where practical skills matter more than theory. Many everyday workers fall into this category, showing that intelligence is not the only path to success. Average intelligence. Most people live here, whether they admit it or not. Average intelligence is the balance point, supporting reading, writing, everyday math, and practical problem solving. People in this range understand cause and effect, make plans, and adjust when mistakes happen. This is the intelligence of routines, relationships, and practical work. Teachers, shopkeepers, nurses, drivers, and small business owners often operate here. The world literally depends on average intelligence to function, but there's a trap. Life works smoothly enough at this level that many stop questioning. They believe they understand everything when really blind spots remain. It's a comfortable zone, reliable, stable, and socially connected. But it can feel like a ceiling for growth if curiosity fades. Above average intelligence is where thinking gets quicker. People here spot patterns that others miss. They anticipate problems before most even notice them. In school, they may have been the students who finished assignments early or got bored with repetition. They excel in puzzles, strategy games, or fields like math, coding, or philosophy. Conversations might feel slow, as if their brain is already 5 steps ahead. While rewarding, this can also be isolating. Sometimes they hide their thoughts or play normal just to fit in. The challenge at this level isn't about being smarter than others, it's about staying grounded and remembering that intelligence isn't only speed, but also connection. High intelligence usually refers to IQs between 130 and 145, the top 2% of the population. People here think abstractly, master complex systems, and often make intuitive leaps. In school, they might teach themselves beyond the curriculum, dive into advanced projects, or question teachers with curiosity that sounds like challenge. They love deep conversations, strategic games, or abstract topics like philosophy, but they also face struggles. Their fast thinking can make them feel misunderstood, especially when emotions don't mature at the same pace. When supported, they often become innovators, researchers, or leaders in science and technology. High intelligence isn't just fast learning, it's the ability to think in ways most people never even consider. Gifted intelligence. Giftedness usually means IQ above 145, but it's more than a number. Gifted individuals process the world with unusual speed and originality. As children, they may teach themselves to read, master instruments, or solve advanced puzzles far ahead of their peers. They often connect ideas across subjects, math to music, science to art. They don't just solve problems, they reframe them in new ways. But giftedness can feel like both a gift and a burden. School may feel too slow, peers may not relate, emotions often run as strong as intellect, which can feel overwhelming. With encouragement, gifted minds often become inventors, writers, or visionaries who expand what's possible in their fields. Prodigy intelligence, commonly called genius, is a different order of thinking altogether. A genius doesn't just answer questions, they rewrite the framework behind the questions. Think Albert Einstein, who reshaped physics, or Srinivasa Ramanujan, whose math seemed to appear from another world. Geniuses challenge assumptions that others take for granted. Their ideas often look strange, radical, or even wrong, until time proves them right. Genius intelligence can feel isolating because others simply can't follow the leaps. Many geniuses are misunderstood or dismissed before they are celebrated. What sets them apart is not just brilliance, but the ability to shift entire paradigms of thought. Polymath intelligence. A polymath is a genius with range. Instead of mastering one area, they master many. Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa, studied anatomy, and sketched flying machines. Benjamin Franklin wrote, experimented with electricity, and shaped politics. What makes polymaths unique is not just curiosity, but synthesis, blending ideas across disciplines. They don't see art, science, and philosophy as separate boxes. They see one continuous web of knowledge. In today's world, specialization dominates, but polymaths remind us of the power of broad, interconnected thinking. Quixotic intelligence, this is also known as visionary intelligence, they go even further. They don't just connect fields, they imagine futures that don't yet exist. A visionary sees possibilities others dismiss as impossible, then works to make them real. Think of inventors like Nikola Tesla, or leaders who sparked entirely new movements. Visionaries challenge norms, face rejection, and endure doubt. Their strength is not only intelligence, but courage, the willingness to risk everything for an idea they believe in. They're the people who don't just adapt to the future, they bend the future itself. Transcendental intelligence. At the very peak lies transcendent intelligence. This isn't about IQ or solving problems. It's about seeing through the illusions of self, society, and even thought itself. Transcendental thinkers like Buddha, Socrates, or Carl Jung question the foundations of knowledge and meaning. They see patterns in human nature, cycles in consciousness, and truths that go beyond logic. Their intelligence feels less like dominance and more like dissolution, guiding, teaching, and transforming without ego. At this level, intelligence stops being about control and starts serving truth. Every level of intelligence has its place. Each shapes how people live, work, and connect.